Well, it's been 2 weeks since we were racing, and now we are back. Welcome along to Formula 2 for Breakout Racing League, and we are here at the Hungaroring. You've got 14 corners that make up this tight track, 2 DRS zones for these drivers to use. We'll see how everyone can mitigate it through qualifying, in which we are doing right now, in which Gary currently is the one leading qualifying for the time being to get pole position. And pole position is actually crucial as it is hard to overtake around here. My name is Miniko, and alongside me is Ishigo. Are you here, Ishigo? Oh, perfect. Well, I just have one question for you. Yeah, just one simple question. It's been 2 weeks, but we're back. Aren't you excited? Yeah, but it always is exciting. Also, I saw that your your audio wasn't included, so you might need to fix that real quick. But nonetheless, we're already done with qualifying as we're going through that unsighted port once again on pole position for the sprint race and adding 4 points to his tally.
Yeah, classic port here. You know, I'm not very surprised, but I'm sure he'll somehow screw up the race because that'll make it better for everyone else. So, yeah. I'm going to say Valkyrie's going to win. Just, say that. I don't know why, but he'll win somehow.
That is very bold, but who knows what can happen. But Port is on pole position ahead of Ferrari Nut, in which Ferrari Nut, well, he's definitely shown the pace. He's once again up there. And right behind him, his rival, Taylor Clan. Then it's Gary, Goose Slayer, then Wilka ahead of Ronnie. The two MP Motorsports lining up 6th and 7th. Then it's Yeet Doggo, Drunken Shamrock, Beavers, Governor, Valkyrie, and Days Freak lining up at the back in P13. And, well, I'm hoping for maybe some rain? Question mark?
Nope, no rain. You lied to me, Xeno.
Aww.
You're just bone dry.
Pain.
I like how enthusiastic you are for worse of some rain. That was nice to see. Maybe next.
Well, I'm just enthusiastic for anything right now.
Absolutely.
I'm just in a good mood, okay? Leave me to it.
It's a very nice,
it's been a while.
Yeah, it's a nice chill Wednesday, and we're back racing.
Yeah, that's what you like to see.
Mm-hmm.
But, hey, the sooner we get on with it, the better. But first we have to go through a formation lap. Unfortunately.
I don't know about you, but I don't like formation laps at all.
I could do without them as well. But we move. So everyone is currently going to be on the medium compound tire for the start of this race. I think it is the medium and the soft compounded tires that will be used in this race. And, well, we'll see how strategy plays out as well. There could be a chance of possible safety cars as the track can be a bit narrow. It's hard to overtake, so we'll see what can happen.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting race. I want to note that Taylor, starting P3, nothing crazy, very good qualifying, but looking at his times he's done before, he definitely could have gone faster in that one shot, so him and Ferrari not sure we'll be hammering around with the port for the entire race unless we have any crazy shenanigans going on.
Well, another thing to note as well, as Taylor has proven time and time again that he can be pretty pacey when it comes to race pace. So him starting third, that is actually a brilliant position for him. Consider the fact that his two championship rivals of Unsighted Port and Ferrari Nut, they're directly in front of him. They're not like 3 or 4 positions ahead. They're directly in front of him, so he's going to want to get a good start and hopefully take the lead and possibly get a win in the feature race.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. He'll have the associate on turn 1. Maybe set up a switchback of the two in front of him are going side by side and just take the lead coming out of turn 1 just like that. And looking at his pace from practices and qualifying and TT, he seemed to be really fast and Port with him too. But I think this could be a very good race for Taylor, and he would definitely like to try and claw back some points on Port.
Yes, he does. Unfortunately, I do not have the championship standing, so I can't exactly tell you what happened 2 weeks ago at Britain. All I know for sure is that Unsettled Port is still very much your championship leader as he won the first race, the feature race at Britain. That's pretty much all I got. So he's going to want to keep that momentum going, get some more wins as well. He's really pulling away in this championship. He's suddenly found his form. But there's still a long ways to go in this championship, as it's only round 11 of 24. So, despite him being in the lead right now, who knows what can happen in the second half. But for now, they just have to get on with this race, as everyone is now going to line up on the grid for the start of the feature race. 19 laps ahead of these drivers, and well, 19 ways for things to go absolutely crazy. Now just wait for Days Freak to line up in the on the back in P13 as we now shall start racing. It's been a long wait, but 5 red lights are finally on. It's lights out and away we go. A decent start from the front two. Ferrari not getting a better second half though, as he's pulling alongside the Unite Virtuosi of Unsettled Port, and they're going wheel to wheel into turn 1. Same with Taylor Clan and Gary further back. But, actually, no, sorry.
Goes off a little bit. He comes back onto the track, but everything's just about safe. You got Ferrari getting overtaken by Goose Slayer, and now he's done to P5, and now Grani's looking for a move to try to go around the outside. Maybe they bang wheels a little bit. He's gone even more wide. Here comes Shamrock. He's going down the rails. Oh, someone spun.
Oh, that's a collision at the back. That's Valkyrie.
No.
Valkyrie is off at the exit of turn 3, lost his front wing, but will be able to continue. He has a DNF, so he'll just have to pull back into the pits, but that's not what what he wanted. Ferrari, like you said, not having the best of starts, getting squarely on the exit of turn 1. That is not what he wanted, especially now that his championship rivals, they're still 1 and 2, but it's Port ahead of Taylor, and then it's Gary, Gooselayer, Ferrari Nut, Drunken Shamrock, Ronnie, Yi Doggo, Beavers, and Days Freak rounding off the top 10. And Port not exactly pulling away from Taylor Clan, so like I said, with Taylor's race pace, it's definitely there, and well, he's showing it right now on the back. It's a little bit of a DRS train right now from 1st to 4th, but DRS hasn't been activated just yet. Little bit of a mistake there from Gary, though. That allowed Gooselayer to have a little bit of a look, but just wasn't enough to make a move.
Oh,
meanwhile, further back, though, Ronnie, he lost a couple of positions, but he doesn't have front wing damage, so he'll be able to continue on as Port leads the first lap of 19, and Ronnie is already feeling pressure from Governor Dwarf. Governor Dwarf pulling on to the left-hand side. Is he going to try to go around the outside at turn 1? Ronnie just covers it off and will manage to hold position for the time being, and will stay in P9 for now. There's still a long ways to go. Actually, Cover Dwarf is actually challenging him again around the outside, but once again, Ronnie playing it defensive. This is what I was saying before. Hungary, it's hard to overtake around here, and if you remember, Alonso in the real life Grand Prix, if you can position your car right, you can definitely defend around here.
Yeah, for sure. We just saw that from Ronnie here. He was doing some great defending from Govern, even though Govern got the exit out of all the corners, but Ronnie just placing his car in the right spot. Days just gets past Wilco just gets past Days for 11, but look at the top 2. Already a second and a half clear of Gary. They're going to pull it away, and we'll have to see what these two can do once DRS is enabled. See if Taylor can muster up a fight against Port here.
Yep, both Unsettled Port and Taylor Clan, the 2 teammates, let's not forget, they are in the same team, and they are pulling away from Gary. Gary holding up a bit of a train, though he's around 8 tenths, 9 tenths ahead of Gooselayer, though he's starting to fall back a little bit, so that could possibly allow Gooselayer to get close to the trident driver. There's a yellow flag. That is for Valkyrie over at turn 3 and 4. Turn 4 and 5. Lost his front wing again. It's gone from bad to worse for the Campos driver. But he'll still be able to continue, and well, who knows what can happen. DRS is now enabled as we are now on lap 3. That could allow potentially Gooselayer to get onto the back of Gary, but it's just not enough.
I'll tell you who's getting on the back of that one. It's 10th place. Govern going around the outside of Ronnie. He's gonna go for the switchback. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Dave's just going off the track. That's just Jane. But here comes Govern around the outside. He gets shoved off slightly, but it's all clean, fair racing here at Hungary. We saw it for Alonso. You can move your car just a little bit, and you'll be fine according to the FIA. And they keep on fighting for P9. They're catching P8 Beaver, so this fighting is holding them up, but not enough to stop them from catching 8th place.
Yep, Ronnie positioning his car quite nicely, trying to cover up Dwarf as he actually shoved him off the track a little bit on the exit 3. But no harm done, so they'll be able to continue on for the time being. And that yellow flag, that is for Valkyrie, who has retired in the pits, so that is already his race over and done. But we still have a sprint race, so we'll see what he can do. But for now, we just still have to get on to the feature race. And Taylor Clan is starting to pressurize Port a little bit more. 3/10, as I saw Port a little bit wide at turn 13. Taylor could possibly go for a move around here. He has the DRS. He's in the slipstream, but unfortunately the DRS is just not as powerful. He is gaining though. Is he possibly going to send it into turn 1? No, he doesn't. Thinks better of it and will slop behind for the time being. Try and possibly get a better exit out of turn 2. Kind of, but it's just not quite. And he'll stay behind in P2 for the time being. Try and pressurize Port into a mistake, as that would be crucial to his championship.
Yeah, you can see Taylor. I think Taylor might have a slight pace advantage here. Maybe it's because he's just following with the DRS, but I think Taylor definitely has a shot at this lead. As Goosebump goes around the outside of here, I believe. Yeah, Goose was looking for the move earlier on, and now he's past Gary for P3.
Yep, Goose Slayer, I think, if I remember to 2 weeks ago, although I do not have the official standings, I think he had a double podium in Britain, so he definitely has pace. Sorry, and he's showing it right now, getting past Gary and moving himself up onto the podium spot. But look behind, Ferrari Nut is on the back of these two, and he's going to want to make up for his poor start at the start of this race and make his way back up onto the podium, possibly try and chase after Taylor Clan and inside of Port. But those two are already 4.3 seconds ahead, so he's going to have to catch a lot if he wants to possibly get a shot of the win.
Yeah, I think Ferrari would probably not really like a safety car right now. I tell you, he doesn't want a safety car. That's Taylor Clan. He's within 2/10 of Port right about now, 3/10 almost. Let's see if he can make a move this time. Port's going defensive. Is Taylor going to go to the outside? Yes, he is. He's going to bring it around the outside. He's going to go for the switchback. He wants to switch back, but look at Port. He parks it perfectly on the apex, causing Taylor to not get on full throttle as early as he wanted to. Taylor's still trying to look for a move. Let Port know he's there. Go for the inside again. Yeah, but he's not going to have enough room or speed to get the move done yet, so he's going to have to hold on a little bit longer here. He's getting close, but he's not going to go for this move.
Yep, Port positioning his car quite nicely on the inside at turn 1, and then the rest was pretty much done deal. And, well, he'll stay in P1 for the time being, but the amount of pressure that Taylor is giving to his teammate is insane, really. So the fact that Port right now is really just playing it really defensive, it's going well for him, but hopefully these two don't clash as well. That would be very hurtful for them in the team's championship. So far, so good, though. It looks like Taylor Klein is getting really good traction out of some of these corners from the back of Port. So you can definitely tell that Taylor does have the pace advantage, but he's just not able to get past his teammate, and that's his problem right now.
Yeah, if it goes on for too much longer, they may have to do it under pit stops. Just wanted to point out, TT Motorsports Online, thank you for the rate of 2. Really appreciate it. I hope you guys are enjoying the race, and yeah, just thanks for doing the rate. Really appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, I appreciate it too. Thank you for shouting that out. I didn't even realize. But yeah, thank you for the raid, TTM Motorsport. Hopefully you enjoyed the action here as well. And, well, right now, lap 6 of 19. It's been a bit calm for the time being.
But it's not calm.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, not calm in P8, like you said. OMG Ronnie going around the outside of Beaver Times, gets the move done. Goes a little bit deep, though. That can allow Beavers to get back ahead of him. No, he doesn't, as OMG Ronnie's able to get the traction. Meanwhile, up into P4 goes Ferrarina. He got past Gary as well. So that is crucial, and now he's going to try and chase after Goose Slayer for P3. Meanwhile, Governor Dwarf and Beaver Times are actually going at it as well, as Governor Dwarf, I think, was defending for Beaver Times. That's allowing Wilka to try and go on the inside of turn 4, but just not quite. He backs out of it and will stay in P11 for now.
Everyone's been popping off on this lap. Lap 6 special number on Hungary, it seems. Popping off real nice. And look at the top 2. Still pulling from Goose Slayer. Ferrari nuts up to P4. That's great for his race. He's got to hunt down Goose Slayer. Maybe look for a safety car so he can challenge the top 2 again. Because this train has been stuck in a really hurt his race. Not ruined necessarily. He still get a podium, but that's definitely not what he wants. He wants to win like everyone else does in this race.
Yep, he does have quite a couple of wins to his name. I believe he has around 5 or 6, if I'm not mistaken. I will have to check up on that later. But yeah, he has gotten past Gary. He's not entirely gaining much on Gooslayer, so Gooslayer showing he has quite a bit of pace at hand and is staying ahead of Ferrari for the time being. But just he doesn't have the pace compared to the front two, as they are 5 seconds ahead. As you saw, Port set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Those two are in a world of their own right now, so they're just kind of keeping it easy for now. And meanwhile, further back though, Wilka, Beavertimes are going at it. Wilka has the inside on Beavertime and gets the move done. Oh, and there's the spinner. That is OMG Ronnie. He has spun at turn 2, turn 3, and that was a track reset. Oh, I wish I didn't see that. Sorry, Ronnie. I may or may not have caught that.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, pretty much, but that allows Wilka Beavertime to be promoted into P9 and P10 Gubber Dwarf up into P8. So that has helped those drivers as they are now in the points paying positions in the feature race. We'll see if anything happens further on, and maybe they could possibly get more. And there's still plenty of ways to go, but for now, P8, P9, P10 for those 3 drivers.
Yeah, really a shame for Ronnie there. He was having a decent race, but if he has any luck, we'll get a safety car. I know that he's definitely going to have some luck here. But I think, going back to the top 2, I think Taylor would like to get past Port, but at the same time, I think he's just really biding his time. He looks for a little bit of a move, letting Port know he's there. It's getting really close, but he can't do anything yet. He just doesn't have enough track to come out the corner. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Taylor's just biding his time, waiting for Port to make a mistake at some point during this on this racetrack.
Yeah, that's exactly what Taylor wants. Although they are teammates, Taylor still wants to get ahead of his teammate, as he's also his championship rival. So not only do they have to play clean, but they also have to play aggressive if he wants to get ahead in the championship. Meanwhile, further back, Wilka has got past Gubber Dwarf up into P8. Provisional pole for the sprint race for now for Wilka. And we'll see if that holds for the time being, as Gubber Dwarf is no doubt going to try and take that back.
Oh yeah, definitely. He would definitely like to get that pole position, but P2 is terrible. Just want that Shamrock out of the race.
Yellow flag, the Shamrock.
Safety car.
And that's a safety car. Oh, and Gubber Dwarf is out as well.
What just happened?
What's happened there?
Let's see. He hit the wall. I think he may have got on the curb, the outside curb, and just got loose. I don't know what happened to Shamrock. I don't see any damage on any of the drivers.
Looks like Shamrock might have lost it on the exit of turn 4 on the outside curb. I'm not entirely sure, but Gubber Dwarf losing it on the exit of turn 3, and that has ruined both their races and not what they would have wanted, as they are the 2 on-track retirees of this race. But the question is, who's going to possibly gamble going into the pits? Right now, it's seeming like no one.
Are you allowed to pit under safety car to get that mandatory pit stop off in F2? Is that allowed? I don't recall the rules.
Yes, it is, but it's not allowed when it's a virtual safety car. But it's a full course safety car, so they are allowed to do that. So far, right now, nobody doing that right now. As well, it's only lap 9 of 19, so I would suppose that the softs possibly do not last that long in comparison to the mediums.
Yeah, I think they just want to play it safe. They want to make sure those softs get to the end of the race. You can always pit at the end of the safety car, especially since no one else is pitting, so it's still a free pit stop for just about everyone on the track. Although I say that, the leaders definitely won't have the gap that they used to have if they were to have pitted under safety car, so I guess I'll just manage their tires well enough to come out on top by the end of the race, as Beaver gets a 3-second time penalty.
That is the first time penalty of this race for exceeding track limits, and that's going to hurt his race right now. Currently sitting in P8. He will still definitely get points as long as he just stays on the track, but that is not going to be helpful if he wants to grab possibly more points or pole position for the sprint race, which is currently where he's sitting right now. So he's going to want to keep that, but that is certainly going to help his race. That's actually something I've noticed. There hasn't been many time penalties.
Yeah, he's the only one for penalty. Sad record, but that's pretty good for the rest of the drivers.
Yeah, it is, but, well, there's still quite a ways to go. We're only halfway. And, well, right now we are all behind the safety car.
Oh no! Sorry. He faked going into the pits.
I think it could have been the racing line that possibly could have thrown you off there, but that would have been quite a gamble if he possibly did that. But two people that are taking a gamble, actually, is Ferrarina and Yeet Doggo, as Ferrarina gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and that's going to hurt his race a lot. But let's see, what can he do? Is he going to go onto the soft... Actually, no, wait, those are hards. Are those... No, those are softs. Sorry, I saw hards on a different part of the pit lane. But no, he goes onto the soft compounded tire on lap 10. So that is a very interesting call from Ferrarina, Yeet Doggo, and Ronnie. So those three could possibly be one to watch out for.
Yeah, I think instead of pitting like the first 2 laps of the car, they put it right here. And the tires are gonna have the longest life instead of like having extra two laps of life on them. There'll be that much pressure. And hopefully, for their sake, when the other drivers pit, they'll come out ahead of those drivers and still decent soft tires there in the race.
Yep, and due to the fact that they're also getting rid of that mandatory pit stop, this is technically putting Ferrari not provisionally in the lead of this Grand Prix. So by Ferrari not doing this, it could be a potential gamble, because we don't know how long these softs are going to land. But if the gamble is worth it, he's leading the race, provisionally.
Yeah, it's actually looking pretty good for Ferrari, except that I think penalty that's really going to hurt his race. But considering how long these pit stops are, especially in F2, it shouldn't hold up his race too much, unless there's another safety car where the drivers a bit under who are still in the mediums.
But another question is if they are aware that Ferrari went into the pits, and whether these drivers will go into the pits. We'll see. What does unsighted port do? Oh, he fakes it! I thought he was going to go into the pits. Yeah. He faked it. Oh, that was cheeky from him, as I think Wilka is actually into the pits. Yes, he is. So Wilka has seen what Ferrarina''s doing and is going to go into the pits as well, as he's really the only driver that was behind the safety car that did it. So he could also be in contention for a decent result here too.
I really am starting to think the softs are the way to go for these top runners here. Because they're only going to take these mediums for 3 laps at max. If the safety car comes in at this lap, they'll have 7 laps. They have to pit. So they're banking on a safety car now. So if it doesn't happen, then they kind of shot themselves in the foot here.
Yep, it's the top 5 right now that haven't pitted in this race, as well as Days Freak, and this is hurting them. Like you said, as the 4 on the soft compounded tire, they're all behind the safety car. Well, I mean, almost behind the safety car, but by the time their lap ends, they'll be behind the safety car, and that is going to hurt them. So, Ferrari Nut, if he can pull a 5-second gap on the cars behind him, he's in a really good shot for this. But Yeet Doggo, if he can stay within that 5 seconds, he can also have a shot at this. So, this is a huge gamble as to who is going to win this race.
Yeah, I think the only saving grace for Port and Taylor Clan, because they're both teammates. They would like the race just for the win, but they also need to make sure they're ahead of Ferrari. I think they're gambling on the 3 or 4 sub cars behind them, holding him up enough. So if they do if Ferrari does catch them, then they'll still be in for those 5 seconds. So I think that's crucial as the safety car comes in the end of the lap.
Yes, it does. So now it is Port's discretion as to when they will resume racing. So whenever he'll go is when everyone else will go, and as soon as he crosses the line, the race is resumed, and Port is most likely going to want to keep this late, especially considering the soft runners, so he's going to want to leave it as late as possible. No one pitting, so that is definitely interesting. No one is thinking of going into the pits, and like I said, Port is going very slow at the start of this, so he knows what is at stake. When is he going to go? He's gone now. He's gone very late. Sorry, a little bit of cough there. That is huge contact between Ferrarina and OMG Ronnie, and that has hurt them a lot, really, as now they are down to P9 and P10. Front wing damage for the 2 as well. So Ferrarina, I said they use in contention. That has hurt him astronomically, as he's no doubt going to have to go into the pits. That leaves Yeet Doggo now as the lead soft runner, currently sitting in P7, trying to possibly make a move on Days Freak ahead of him. But Wilka's now got in the action. Wilka's now up into P7 and the lead soft runner, and nearly made contact with Days Freak there now on the inside at turn 4, and now has made his way up into P6. Oh, that's not contact. Yeet Doggo's round. The top 2 in contention for this, the lead soft runners, has suddenly fallen to P8 and P9. What is going on? I am just absolutely baffled now. So now that leaves Wilka in P6 as the lead soft runner in this Grand Prix. And that is definitely something that Port and Taylor like to note. But he is very much on the back of this train. What are they going to do? What are the top 3 going to do? Is Port going to go to the pits? Yes, he is. So a race leader has now gone into the pits. So he has made the call, Reunite Virtuosi, and he's no doubt going to go into the soft compounded tire. But Wilka, he is already on the main straight and passed on side of Port. So that is crucial in this race, as Gary is now going for a move on Beaver Times on the inside at turn 1. Late braking for the Trident driver now on the inside, and gets the move done. And that allows Wilka to possibly get in the mix of Beaver Times. Actually, no, he doesn't. Beaver Times has managed to get back at Gary. Now has the inside for turn 2, but Gary goes around the outside of the HWA driver and makes his way up into P3. But Beaver Times still very much looking on the back of the Trident, but it's just not enough, and we'll have to stay P4 for the time being. But getting a really poor exit out of there that could allow Wilka to possibly get ahead of the HWA, but just not quite, so he's going to have to sit behind for the time being. But in reality, Wilka does not need to fight this. He just needs to keep it easy, and ideally, as long as everyone else has to pit, and he doesn't, he's still leading this Grand Prix, and look at the margin. 10 seconds ahead of the next driver.
Yeah, absolutely insane safety car restart. Look at Port, down to P8. He's 27.5 seconds off the leader, his teammate. This has just gone from riches to rags for Port and for Argonaut. Both championship contenders have just had a very unlucky race. Now Taylor's in the pit, so maybe he can... I think he might come out of Port. We'll have to see.
Interesting call here, though. Gary has stayed out on the mediums.
So
that is an interesting call. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's onside of Port, got a 3-second time penalty. We were just talking about time penalties before. That's not going to help him at all, as he's really the only driver with a time penalty that's still running in this race. So that is going to hurt him a lot. But the question is, where does he come out in relation to his teammate, Taylor Klein? Taylor Klein, he is in the pits. He's going to come out of his pit box. Where's outside of Port? He's on the main straight. He is still ahead of his teammate, which is crucial. But look at the gap between him and Wilka. 20 seconds over. I don't think he's going to be able to catch that in time.
I don't think so either. To be fair, he gained 6 seconds in the past and lap and a half. But I highly doubt that pace will stay that consistent. Unless Wilka and Gary just go Tom and Hammer throughout the rest of this race or some weird reason.
We shall see, as Gary is leading this race, but he still has to pit, and Wilka just kind of staying behind for the time being. He's just sitting pretty. He knows he doesn't need to fight it, and well, he's doing exactly that. He is not fighting Gary at all. He's trying not to compromise his race. As well, he's got an 11-second gap to the next car. He does not need to fight anything. He just needs to keep it calm, as Gary is now into the pits. That releases Wilka into the lead of this Grand Prix. And I don't think Wilka's actually ever led a race, so this is a milestone for him.
Clap, clap, clap. Clap, clap, clap. Good job, Wilka. Woohoo!
Yeah, well done indeed. He managed to take the gamble, and it has definitely worked out for him, as he's 11 seconds ahead of Yeet Doggo. He just needs to take it easy, really. As well, the next driver behind Yeet Doggo is on side of Port, and I think, does Yeet Doggo have damage? Actually, that's the question. Doesn't look like he does. Oh no, he does. He's not. He's missing a right side end plate. But I guess the damage isn't as detrimental as he's not really losing that much pace compared to Wilka. But he's going to have to be careful because unsighted port and Taylor Klein, I just want to know, Taylor Klein has gained on unsighted port, so already the two United drivers are already neck and neck.
Yeah, Taylor just set a fastest first sector, 4 tenths up on his PB, which is actually matching Port's fastest lap currently. So they're both charging hard to try and get this possibly even double podium if they catch up in the next 4 laps.
Yeah, just looking at the fastest lap difference, unsighted port with a 28.9 and Wilka right now with a 29.8. That's 9 tenths that unsighted port is gaining, but it's lap 15 of 90 going on to lap 16. If he's gaining a second per lap, that is definitely not going to be enough. So he wants Wilka to make a huge mistake. And right now, Wilka, he knows he doesn't need to make a mistake. He just needs to keep it calm.
Yeah, that's all you have to do. It's a pretty easy win, all things considered. Wilka did a 37 that last lap. Hidalgo a 31.5. Oh my gosh. That's a pretty big gap. 27.8 to a, let's call it a 31.8. That's like a 4-second gap, and the gap's 5 seconds. So Hidalgo might have to watch out here these last, probably next lap, the lap after. So, but Port still has that penalty, so he could still snatch at a podium.
Just thinking about that, obviously Hidalgo with that damage and unsighted port, we're leading this race and currently chasing after Hidalgo. If I were in Hidalgo's position and I had not one, but 2 United Virtuosi drivers, both in which are in the championship fight, I'd be scared. I would just be running for my life right now.
Yeah, I'd be a bit intimidated to say the least, but I think he has the ability to just know when to fight his own battles, and if they catch him, then he knows he just has to maybe hold him up a teensy bit to make sure he gets within 3 seconds at the end of the race, or just let him go and just hope maybe they crash or something, and he still gets an easy podium.
Well, I just want to note real quick. You said before at the start of this lap that they were 5 seconds behind Hidalgo. Yeah, that's down to 2.
Yeah, that's 3 seconds.
They have gained 3 seconds on this lap alone. So, due to their pace advantage and due to the fact that Hidalgo has wing damage, that is definitely hurting them, and that's definitely hurting Hidalgo and helping the 2 Virtuosi drivers.
Yeah, to be fair to Hidalgo, his last lap was only like 6 tenths off his PB. So the damage is definitely there, but in terms of his ultimate race pace, he hasn't dropped off that much. So it's really just unfortunate that he has 2 of the fastest guys in F2 in BRL chasing him down for his podium.
Yes, they're already within DRS range of Hidalgo. Yellow flag further back. That is for Days Freak, has spun off at turn 14.
And Port gone past Hidalgo.
Oh.
I think he let them through before the chicane.
He might have, as he knows he definitely has pace disadvantage.
Yeah. Got a glimpse of it.
I'm
Here comes Taylor.
Oh! And
That's
even more salt
hurt.
to the wound.
And Gooselair's right behind him too, so he might be making the move by the end of this.
Oh yeah, that's actually another thing. These 2 are teammates. What are they gonna do? As Gooselair looks like he has the pace advantage over his teammate. And yep, Hidalgo's let Gooselair by, and I think, looking at the intervals, Gooselair is within that 3 second of unsighted port.
I think
so. That could definitely be
now.
Detrimental. That could possibly be a podium for Gooselair.
Yeah, because I think Taylor's hungry for that win. He's going for the move. Taylor got loose out of the last corner, so I think Taylor might go for a move. You never know. Let's see. He's gonna tuck back in. Oop, Port makes a small mistake. Let's go open the door for Taylor. Side by, oh, they get both get wheels been side by side, and Port just gotta let him through. He's got a little fight of the day. And Gooselair only 1.7 behind Port, so he's doing all he needs to do right now.
That kind of reminded me a bit of Alonso and Hamilton there, where Alonso made a mistake into turn 1, which allowed Hamilton to get by. That's how Hamilton got past Alonso in the real-life Hungarian Grand Prix. It was very similar to the United Virtuosi drivers, Taylor Clan getting ahead of Port in a similar manner. And, well, although he didn't have to, he still did it anyways, and now is up into P2, but 10 seconds between him and Wilka. It is definitely not going to be enough for him to catch. All he needs to do is just keep it easy. Oh,
Oh, never mind. I saw a red dot in the pits, and I thought it was Volca for a second, but it was just Days.
Oh,
Scared me.
no, it's just Days Freak. But yeah, that is gonna help Taylor Clan's race, as he is not only ahead of him on track, but also penalties as well, as he's gonna gain on his championship rival and teammate. As Porco's really deep there at the penultimate corner, and that's gonna hurt him, as he's losing more time to Goose Slayer. And well, Goose Slayer's just sitting pretty.
Yeah, Goose Slayer's only 2 minutes behind. Port doesn't have any DRS. I think this is kind of on purpose for Taylor. They're teammates, but they're both fighting for this championship, and he knows that if he can get Port off the podium, that's more points for him. And the constructors isn't really that important to Taylor. I've come to realize over my time racing against him and with him, so I think this is all part of the master plan for Taylor. As my game just crashed.
Oh. That's if my Xbox would let me. Thank you. Just to quickly say though, we are on the lap of this Grand Prix, and Wilka 8 seconds ahead of Taylor Clan. I definitely didn't expect this coming into this race. I expected rather Uni Virtuosi dominance through here, and I have seen the exact well, not the exact opposite, but something very different. It's not going to be a Uni Virtuosi driver winning this race. It's not even going to be a high-tech of Ferrari nut. It is not going to be the Damza Hoopalicious, as he isn't here. This is a completely new race winner, and just like Ocon did in real life in 2021, he won his debut race at the Hungarian Grand Prix, and Wilka's done exactly that as he wins the feature race and his first race win in Formula 2. Taylor Clan will finish in P2 ahead of Unsighted Port, but Goose Slayer will grab that podium thanks to Port's 3-second time penalty, as Port is now relegated down to P4. Gary has finished in P5 ahead of Beaver Times in P6. G-Doggo, with that damage, has fallen all the way down to P7, but still some decent points. Days Free crossed the line as well. He finishes in P10, points for him. And Ferrari Nut, a lowly P8, but he will start the sprint race on pole position. OMG Ronnie will round the final corner, and he'll be the last to cross the line in P9. Wow.
What a race.
Wilco winning the race.
I think that was a very lucky win, but also a very deserved win, because he did such a great job after that, after the shenanigans, taking the lead and not crumbling under pressure. So a very good race for him.
It indeed was a very good race for him, although he wasn't up to pace compared to the drivers behind him. He didn't need to be, because he had such a massive gap. All he needed to do is take it easy, and that's exactly what he did to take his first win in Formula 2. Taylor Clan finishes in P2, gaining points on his championship leader, which is crucial, and Goose Slayer once again grabbing another podium. But really, Wilka, really the standout out of all this, getting the win, much like Ocon. Well, there's your results there. Wilka wins the Hungarian Grand Prix ahead of Taylor Clan. Goose Slayer finishes in P3. Unsighted Port finishes P4 after starting from pole position. Gary in P5 ahead of Beaver Times. Yeet Doggo and Ferrari Nut from P2 down to P8. But we'll start the sprint race from pole position, so don't tune out. There's still another race to go. OMG Ronnie finishes P9 ahead of Days Freak, who grabs points in this race despite being a lap down. Drunken Shamrock, Governed Dwarf, and Valkyrie being your 3 retirees of this race. Oh, rain please.
Please. Is Valkyrie still in the lobby or no? I don't think he's here. Oh, I'm racing, apparently. Okay. Bit odd. Are you in a car or is it just me?
I think it might be just you, so you might need to just
Oh.
quickly retire that.
It's fine, it's
We
fine.
got a
I
racer
gave you the
commentator
keys to
here,
the car.
guys.
I'll give you the onboard view. What the heck? What the heck?
What are the odds of that? That is a weird glitch. There you see, guys. P14, my co-commentator Ishigo. There he is at P14. Say hi.
Hi. Hi, Mom. Just vibing in the car, you know. No biggie. Totally not legal, but, you know. Well, I'll be able to give you the turn 1 view. I'll just retire at, like, in the pits or something.
Might be the way to go, yeah.
This is amazing. This actually works out great for commentary.
Let's see your onboard. Let's see what you see.
Do a couple of burnouts. Just a little bit of weaving.
Ah, yes, I very much see that.
Very hard turn
Now
1
alongside
here.
Valkyrie. Oh, make a
Lock
move
up,
into
big
turn
lock
1.
up,
What a
oh.
move.
Oh, he gets tail happy. Oh my gosh. He's on the curb. Oh, he's going past. What is this maniac doing on a formation lap? Oh my god.
Gotta love glitches.
This is truly beautiful. This is truly a sight to behold.
Yes, it is. As Bailey is saying in the chat, you better win those from the commentary box. What the scenes if that were to happen in real life?
It would be
That would
truly
just be-
amazing. David Croft walking in an F1 car. Give me the keys, Mercedes. I'll steal this championship from Red Bull. Don't you worry.
You gotta love to see it, because, you know, this game, it be like that.
Truly.
But, anyways, going over to the grid, Ferrari Nut lines up on pole position ahead of Yeet Doggo. Beaver Times lines up in P3 ahead of Gary. Then is championship leader on Unsighted Port in P5 ahead of Gooselayer. Then is Taylor Clan in P7. Wilka lining up at P8 thanks to winning the sprint race. OMG Ronnie in P9 ahead of Days Freak. Then is Drunken Shamrock and Governor Dwarf. And Valkyrie in P13 as we have a spinner on the formation lap. I can probably guess who that is.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Lining up in P14, though technically shouldn't be.
It's
My
fine.
co-commentator, DXD Ishiko.
Like how I signed up to be a reserve this race, and it worked out.
That's definitely one way to be reserved, as Bailey is saying in chat, pulled a me. If you guys do not know, Bailey is known to spin on formation laps, especially in realistic tier. Speaking of which, realistic tier, be sure to tune into that tomorrow at 8 p.m. EST. But right now, just stay here for the time being, as we got another race to go on, and it is the sprint race, as the drivers have lined up on the grid. 5 red lights ahead of the drivers. It's lights out, and away we go. A decent start for Farina. Again, Yidogga, though, trying to challenge into turn 1, as Unsighted Port is already ahead of Gooselayer and Beaver Times, as Farina goes into the first corner and leads the first lap. I mean, not the first corner, ahead of Gary. Unsighted Port, though, he's already up into P3. So he's already making strides in this race, trying to get past Gary, but it's just not enough. Actually, no, it is enough. Actually, he's going to try around the outside at turn 3. Just not enough, though, goes a little bit deep. But Unsighted Port will slide into P3 ahead of Yidogga. There's Taylor Clan, Beaver Times, Gooselayer, Wilka, OMG Ronnie ahead of Valkyrie. Valkyrie's made up 3 positions in this race. Ahead of Gumber Dwarf, then Drunken Shamrock. Ahead of Days Freak. Verona is already building quite a bit of a gap. 8/10 between him and Gary. If only you could see this.
Yeah, if only. I'm just staring at his gearbox, trying not to hit him or anything.
Fair enough. Gooselayer has a little bit of pressure behind him from Beaver Times, but has still managed to stay in P6 for the time being. And, well, everyone so far keeping it clean for the time being. Ferrari Nut already pulling a 1.1 second gap ahead of Gary. And Unsighted Port is very much on the back of the Trident driver. Mistake there from Yidogga. That's going to allow Taylor Clan to possibly go around the outside of the final corner, but goes a little bit too deep. No, he doesn't, actually. I was completely wrong. Taylor Clan around the outside at the final corner. What a move that is. As Yidogga, though, is trying to pressurize him again, but it's just not enough. Meanwhile, unsighted port gets past Gary, and now up into P2, as you are now back in the commentary box. Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm back. I did not have fun at that starting at all. As now Valkyrie is getting overtaken, but he's in AI mode, so it's fine. He's doing a good job in AI mode.
Yes, he is. But Governor Dwarf is now back past Valkyrie and up into P10, as Drunken Shamrock is now past the AI of Valkyrie up into P11. But unfortunately, these are not points for these drivers, as the points are only awarded to the top 8. And right now, Verona leading the top 8, 1.5 ahead of Unsighted Port, building a bit of a gap between him. So this is definitely crucial for Ferrari Nut. He may have lost out in the feature race, but in the sprint race, he's making it count.
Yeah, this is revenge from last race. This is the pace he didn't get to show, and he's showing on full display for all of us to see.
That is exactly the case. 1.5 still between him and Unsighted Port.
Gary makes a mistake.
Oh.
He gets loose at the penultimate corner, and Taylor gets past it. He almost hits a wall. Oh, that was scary.
It was close, but unfortunately he manages to keep going and now promotes Taylor Clan up into P3. Going to try and chase after his teammate. This is very similar towards the feature race. Taylor Clan on the back of Unsighted Port. We'll see. Can the two teammates clash again? We'll see how that goes on. There was a bit of a position change as Drunken Shamrock and Valkyrie, their AI, are still going at it. The Governor Dwarf is on the back of Ronnie, trying to go for a move into turn 2, just not enough, as Ronnie is able to defend it and stay in P9 for the time being. Though he's right on the back of him, though, from the nose cam, basically making contact. And did I just see a bit of rain? There's rain in the race now. I called it. Yes, he is. The Goose Slayer is now up into P5, and the rain has started to fall. So already throw that into the mix, as we can possibly see a dry to wet race. We'll see. Will it intensify? That's the question.
It's gonna be tough. There's only 11 laps for this track to get that wet, but you never know. It doesn't look that cloudy, so it looks like a very light drizzle. I'm actually surprised it's raining at all, to be honest.
Well, although it is surprising, it is still very much raining, and so far all the drivers, they can see the rain. They know it's here, but obviously they are just not really phased by it right now, as it's only the startup. Unsighted Port, now Taylor Clan sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, 1:29.1, as these drivers are slowly gaining on Ferrari ahead. But like I said before, you can catch someone. Can you overtake? That's really the big question. It's not impossible, but it's definitely very difficult. Like Hungary is known for, as Verna makes a big mistake, and that's cost him quite a lot of time. That allows Unsighted Port now to be in the DRS. But I was about to say before, Hungary is known to be almost like Monaco in a way. Hard to overtake, as many people have said, it is similar to Monaco. So you can overtake, but the question is how and where.
I'll tell you where. Turn 1. That's about it.
Apart from the obvious.
Oh, well, then you better just hope and pray that someone screws up somewhere. Just about.
Well, you could pull a Taylor and go around the outside of turn 14. He did that on I think that was Goose Slayer.
Yeah.
So, if you have the grip, you could definitely get ahead of someone, but you just have to be very brave to do so. But right now, Taylor Clan, speaking of which, he is still in P3 for the time being. It's now a bit of a train now from P1 to P3, as the top 3 have really sailed away from Gary and really are just in a league of their own. Meanwhile, further back, that is Governor Dwarf getting past OMG Ronnie, as Ronnie is actually into the pits. That's an interesting call.
To be fair, looking at the times, the drivers were about anywhere between 5 tenths to a second and a half off their pace. I still think it's a bit too early for Inters now, but hey, maybe by the time he comes out of the pits, crosses the sector 1 line, it'll be Inters. Or maybe he's just going on to hard?
Well, you say that, yet we don't have intercompound in Formula 2, so yeah, you just go straight onto the wet compound attire.
That seems
so that's a bit of a gamble from Ronnie. We'll see how that pans out, as in reality, just looking at the track from Ferrari Nut's point of view, it looks almost bone dry on the track, so this might be a bit of a gamble that hasn't exactly worked out. But we'll see if he is able to translate if the track conditions do get worse, as he is actually just spun off at turn 1. So that is just proving my point. The track conditions just not enough.
Oh, Port gets really close to Ferrari Nut in that corner. Ferrari Nut is really struggling with these mediums now. The track's getting wetter, and it's showing how difficult it is to race out here because he is getting hounded by Port coming out the final corner.
Basically pushing him through the final corner right now, and clearly has the traction compared to Ferrari Nut. He now has the DRS on the main straight. He pulls out to the right-hand side onto the inside at turn 1, and unsighted Port takes the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix away from Ferrari Nut, as Ferrari Nut is just not able to capitalize on unsighted Port, and will stay behind in P2. Is now going to have pressure from Taylor Clan behind as well. The top 3 are just in a world of their own.
Yeah, they're just vibing, man. That's all they're doing. They're just having a great time out there, just eating Cheerios and milk and stuff like that. I don't know. I've lost what I was thinking of. They're just relaxing. That's basically what they're doing. They're on a rainy day to just race into their heart's content, and they just happen to be that much quicker than the rest of the field.
Yep, as they are the top 3 in the championship. Let's not forget that these 3 drivers are in the top 3. And, well, they're definitely showing it 5 seconds around ahead of Gary. So these 3 definitely just minding their own business, taking it easy as well. Race has been pretty calm, needless to say. It's not been chaotic, but it's not been too quiet, needless to say. So it's been a bit of a calm race.
Oh, that's wrong.
Oh, right as I say it? Oh.
Yeah, you jinxed
Spun
us.
off at turn 1 again, and that's just further proof that the gamble is just not working, as nobody else is pitting right now, and, well, he is a long, long ways behind, and, well, it's just super unfortunate for the MP Motorsport driver. He'll just have to wait and possibly hope for a safety car in this race, but yeah, just not gone well.
Yeah, definitely hasn't gone well for him. He'll be hoping for a safety car, or if nothing like that happens, then just hope for something more next week, because we still have a long calendar, not even halfway through. So yeah, just want to point out the gas. Oh, Gary's having a bit of a fight with Gooselayer right now. He's actually looking for a move right now. Outside, inside, at the uphill fast left-hander. Can he make the move? Oh, he gets cut off, and Gary goes off the track. That was very different type between the 2 drivers. I was just going to mention that looking at the deltas, they're about 2.5 seconds off their PBs, all the drivers. So it's definitely getting wetter. I don't know if it's wet yet, but it's getting there.
Yep, track condition definitely playing a part in this race, as the drivers are possibly starting to struggle. I saw a little bit of a wiggle from Gooselayer on the exit of turn 4, so he is starting to lose a bit of traction, but he's still very much on the back of Gary for P4, which is ideally, I would say that being there is provisionally best of the rest position, as the top 3 in a world of their own. So Gary and Gooselayer fighting it out between each other for P4, as OMG Ronnie has retired from the session in the pits, and well, that just shows why that gamble didn't work, as he has retired. As now Gooselayer is going around the outside of Gary, just like Taylor did at turn 14, and gets the move done. I'm not sure Gary made a mistake there, but that has allowed Gooselayer to now move up into P4, and that is a great move, as Beaver Times is into the pits.
What, tires? Maybe?
Looking over, yes it is.
I didn't catch.
So we have another gambler in this race. We'll see. Can this possibly pay off? I'm not entirely sure now is the right call. We'll have to wait and see, though. And I saw a bit of a position change. I think Wilka has gotten past Yeet Doggo up into P6. And, well, after getting his win, sitting in P6 for the time being, still getting some decent amount of points. We'll see if that can translate into anything more. But it's only lap 8 of 14. We're already halfway through this Grand Prix. And, well, I'm not entirely sure. Do you take a gamble? That's the question, because obviously the track does not look wet enough But it's really just a matter of who can keep it on the track right now, as it's definitely greasy.
Yeah, it's I think it's definitely greasy, but looking at the lap deltas, they've been consistently for the past 2 or 3 laps about 3 seconds off their personal best. So I just don't think it's time yet. And I don't know if it's gonna get that wet. As here comes Taylor, he has a really good run for Arnett. But yeah, like I said, I just don't think it's worth the gamble right now. It's just not wet enough.
Not seeming like it. Farina is on the bubble right now on the side of port for DRS, and that's definitely going to hurt him, especially since Taylor Clan is very much on the back of Ferrari Nut. And, well, if Ferrari Nut's out of DRS and Taylor comes around the back of him, that's going to make him lose another place, as Beaver Times gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. And just looking at the delta between him and Dave's Freak, he's losing quite a lot of time. So once again, the gamble just not paying out. So I don't think it'll possibly go into wet tire conditions, though I am starting to see raindrops on the tracks, so it's definitely getting worse.
Yeah, I think if it does come, I actually feel pretty bad for Beaver, because if it comes, it'll be like, oh, Port makes a bit of a mistake. Oh, he cuts the chicane a little bit. And he cares for Ferrari. Can he go for a move? No, he's going to back out. That's pretty smart, I'd say. It's covered door picked up a 3-second. But now Port's really struggling. You said their raindrop was on the track. It might be that time to pit. They're approaching 5 seconds off their PB, so it's only a matter of time before the rain gets too heavy for these speeding runners.
That mistake from Port has cost him a lot of time. He was nearly out of the DRS of Ferrari Nut, and well, now his Ferrari Nut's right on the back of him. And he lost around like 6/10 or something like that from that mistake in the chicane. That has proved costly, as Port thought about going into the pits. Now Ferrari Nut has gone to the pits. So there you go. Ferrari Nut trying to, instead of Port trying to fake out Ferrari Nut, and Ferrari Nut having none of it. And now he's going to pit. Is he going to go on to the compound tire? Goose Slayer is in as well. Who else follows? I think Gary is in as well. So both the Carlin drivers are into the pits. What?
You said Gary was going to the pits?
Oh, no, sorry. I meant Yidog.
Oh,
was going into the pits. But both the Carlin drivers are into the pits. We'll see. Can that possibly pay off for them? We'll have to find out, as the track is definitely getting worse. That has allowed Unai Virtuosi to be 1 and 2 like they were at the start of this weekend. And while they have managed to retain position, the question is, it's definitely getting worse now.
Yeah.
You can see the track condition on board with Taylor from behind Port. It's definitely getting near that time. If this were F1, I would suppose that you would go onto intercompounded tire. So this could possibly be the time to make a move.
I think they have to pit, even if it doesn't. Even if DRS isn't disabled, I think they have to pit. They don't have a choice. They're losing 5 seconds only up to Sector 2. Gary was 10 seconds off his delta on the last lap, so I think they don't have a choice but to pit. It just depends who will pit and who will stay out the extra lap. Or do they double stack?
Just looking at the delta, though, between Ferrari Nut and Drunken Shamrock, Ferrari Nut is losing time. So maybe it isn't enough. So
maybe?
I think this is actually... Remember that 1 lap ago, we just saw Port faking out Ferrari Nut and Ferrari Nut diving into the pits because of it. That could have been a smart move from Port if you think about it.
Yeah, definitely could be. Their drivers are about 7.5 seconds off. The top 5, all 7.5 seconds off of their PBs. So maybe it really depends on this fast lap for Ferrari Nut. He's just finished his out lap now, but I think he may be right, because that gap is too big, 35 seconds, and I'm sure these drivers would much rather stay out than pit for the wets now. They're committed to the strategy.
Yeah, it's just a matter of who can keep it on the track. And right now, Unsighted Port and Taylor Clan, they are 17 seconds ahead of the next driver. There's a yellow flag. That's Wilka. Wilka is off at the straight between turn 3 and turn 4. Doesn't have a front wing now. The feature race winner is off. So that's how you know that the track conditions are getting worse.
Yeah, these curves are pretty slippery around here and dry, and definitely far worse in the wet. But yeah, that's very a shame for Boca. He had a great race earlier, but sometimes luck isn't always on his side as he lets Farina go. That was very smart of him. Very good to see. No fighting there. And yeah, Farina's lost 2 seconds, by the way, to Port. So I think your theory has become fact. I think it's just not what enough. Maybe if we had inter tires in F2, but these ones just aren't doing it.
Yeah, the track condition may be worse, but right now the tire is still mediums that are the way to go. And outside of Port and Taylor Clan, they started P5 and P7, let's not forget. And now they're sitting 1 and 2 for UNI Virtuosi. So by them taking this gamble, staying out, and by Ferrari not going the other way, needless to say, this has definitely helped them.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, Ferrari nut, just look at his time, 41.1. That is almost 11 seconds off of his PB. Meanwhile, Port just hit a 36.7. So, yeah, the strategy has just not worked for Ferrari nut. A shame. 2 poor races for the driver.
Wilka is into the pits to change his front wing and go onto the wet compound of tire. Though just suggesting from the other drivers is not seeming like the best tire to be on. But we'll see how that pans out. Maybe he can wait for other people to make a mistake. But it's just not going well. Meanwhile, Governor I think he made a bit of a mistake. He's now relegated down to P6 and the lowest of the medium runners. But he's got 14 seconds between him and Ferrari Nut right now. So he's still getting a decent amount of points. As we're now coming on to the penultimate lap of this Grand Prix. Unsighted Port currently leading ahead of Taylor Clan, the 2 championship leaders, the 2 championship rivals, and the 2 teammates. Right now, they are sitting 1 and 2, and I have no doubts that they're just going to keep it easy. Well, maybe not Taylor, actually, thinking about it. I think Taylor's possibly going to try and go for a move here if he can.
Yeah, so I'm going to hope that Port makes a mistake somewhere around this track, because otherwise it's going to be very tough to make a move. He's been stuck behind him basically the entire race. But I just want to point out Shamrock and Valkyrie real quick. Their AI been fighting the entire race, and they're 4th and 5th, so kudos to their AI. Truly the underdogs of this race.
Truly inspirational. Yeah, those 2 are sitting in P4 and P5. However, they won't get those points due to the fact that their AI has been running this race. So, unfortunately, decent points are just going to turn to nothing right now. Taylor Clan is right on the back of unsighted Port, as I think Port is starting to struggle a little bit due to the fact that, well, there's spray coming off of Port's tire right now. That's how you definitely know that it's time for wets. But neither one of these 2 drivers are going to pit. They are 24 seconds ahead of Gary. They just need to keep it on the track. But the question is, who can keep it on track better and faster, as Port is getting really loose on the rear. Wow, that was a good save.
Yeah, I was testing out these F2 cars a few hours ago before the race, and you can slide a lot in that corner, even in the dry, so I'm not surprised with all this pressure he's under. He's sliding a little bit, and he goes in the grass. Oh, it's going to ruin his run. He's gaining. Can he go for the move? DRS
has been disabled, though.
No!
That's going to hurt his races.
Taylor Clan. Timing. But it doesn't matter because Port's screwed up again.
Oh!
And here comes Taylor. It's going to be a run down to the turn 2. Oh, no. The Port out of the run. Can Taylor go around the outside? He's going to have to hold it. Maybe go for a switch back here. Under and over. Maybe. Switch back again through here. Oh, I gets a bit loose with the wheel. Oh, but no, he's out of straight. He's out of time. He's got to wait for another mistake from Port. Maybe in the chicane up here. Maybe he goes wide. No, he keeps it on the track for now.
He's trying absolutely everything. Try and make sure that Port makes a mistake, but he's sliding a lot in the car due to the wet conditions. That's hurting his race right now, as he wants Port to make a mistake, not him. And Port just right now, he knows he just has to take it easy. He just needs to keep it calm. And right now, with all that pressure from Taylor, he still managed to keep it on the track right now, which is great for him. As right now, he will pull ahead, well, streak out ahead of his teammate and championship rival, as Taylor Clan goes deep at turn 11, going through into the 3rd sector. Port started P5, your championship leader. Here he has quite a lot of wins, and well, this is definitely a tough win, but it's still a win nonetheless. And despite all the pressure, all the conditions thrown at him, he has managed to mitigate it all, and he now wins the sprint race here in Hungary, and it's a Unite Virtuosi 1-2 as Taylor Clan finishes in P2 and gets the fastest lap. Let's not forget, Taylor Clan had the bonus 2 points for fastest lap, so that is definitely going to help him in his championship hunt, as it was damage limitation. Gary is going to come around the final corner, and he is going to finish on the podium spot. P3 for the Trident driver, and that is a very, very good result for him. Jorgen Shamrock and Valkyrie will finish P4 and P5. Gummer Dwarf will finish in P6. Ferrari Nut, he took the gamble, and it just wasn't enough as he finishes in P7. Gooselayer will round out the points paying positions in P8. Wilka finishes P9 ahead of Beaver Times. Yeet Doggone Days Freak outside the top 10, finished P11 and P12. OMG Ronnie being the only retiree in this race.
Well, we got the rain like you wanted, and it made a very interesting race. So I'm pretty happy with that. Yay!
I got my wet race. I'm happy.
Happy times in the commentary booth.
For me, yes.
Also
After
for
being
me.
2 weeks away from racing, this is what I wanted.
Yep.
well, I would say this is what I wanted, but you know, it's not exactly. But it's still quite some good racing, and well, a new race winner nonetheless. So definitely exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Race 1 was fun. His AI did an amazing job this race. Fully deserves driver of the day. But yeah, race 2, dry wet race. Got to go in the car for the first lap, just because the game isn't great like that. And then yeah, just watch this race unfold, and it was very exciting. And hope to see more throughout the week.
Yep, that is definitely the case. Unsighted Port wins the Grand Prix ahead of Taylor Clan. Gary, another podium for him, as I believe that is his third podium. Another third place for him, so well done. And well done to all the drivers that stuck it out on the mediums in those greasy conditions, as they were able to make the most out of it and get the top 6 points. And while going through the weekend results, our interviewees will be the TUni Virtuosi drivers of Taylor Clan and Unsighted Port, and also going to be the feature race winner of Wilkas. I'll invite them to the party right now. There you have it, though. Unsighted Port and Taylor Clan 1 and 2. Taylor Clan getting 3 points on his teammate Wilka. That surprise win was well, needless to say, very surprising. And he finishes with the top 3 and getting the top 3 amount of points. I figured that was the case. Okay, so now that we have all 3 drivers in, we shall move on to interviews. We haven't had this in 2 weeks. Yay! Okay. First, we shall start with who finished the feature race in first place. Really, the big surprise out of that weekend, as it was his first race win. Didn't get points in the sprint race, but still 25 points and the third most amount of points in this race. Wilka, Ichigo, do you want to take this away?
Yeah, sure. Oh, awesome race. Thank you for having me on air. Much appreciated. Yeah,
I'm
no,
letting Nishigo take
it's
it.
just a good bit time.
It's
And then just managing the hell, because on site and Taylor were friggin' knocking out like 2 seconds a lap on me. I'm trying to manage my 50% tire. Got up to
Oh,
60% by the end. I was just trying not to make it pop. And second sprint race, very disappointed. This is my first time finishing outside the points this season, so disappointed there.
Is it
But
actually?
anyways, oh yeah, consistency is the thing I do. I don't go fast, but I drive consistent.
Oh yeah, just looking at it, your highest finish 4th and your lowest position being 8th. Yeah, I'm seeing that now, so definitely consistency there. Although you didn't get points in the,
Nope.
in the feature race. I mean, sorry, no, that's the sprint
The
race.
sprint, yeah.
The feature race, though, 25 points. I mean, come on. You definitely got to be happy about
Yeah.
that. And, well,
Feels good.
hopefully, do you want to possibly carry that momentum more into next week?
Yes, sir. You're right. I'll do some training. I'll gain a few seconds and give Taylor and Unsite a run for their money.
That's what we want to see.
Hey,
Yeah,
well,
that's
thank you.
exactly what we want to see. But well done to you on getting your first win of the season. It was definitely a big surprise and one I definitely didn't expect, but it's still a win nonetheless, so well done to you. And we shall now move on to who got the second most amount of points in this race with 31, and that was Unsighted Port. Ishigo, go ahead.
no, just kidding.
Damn, okay.
I don't have any questions. I had a feeling you would do well, but let me know your highlight of the race. What was your highlight?
Sending an absolute bing bong of a dive bomb in a fucking sprint race. Nah, I sent that from downtown Steph Curry style. No, we completely bottled the feature race. I hate the safety car in F2 cars because he stays out for 8,000 years and then you can pit it whenever you want. But yeah, I made up for it in the sprint, so I'm the better version of Lando Norris, I guess.
Damn. Shots fired. Lando, if you're watching this,
Kiss me.
you said it, not me. Okay. Okay. I don't really have very many questions either. I mean, yeah, obviously you are the championship leader. You've shown week in, week out, you have the pace, and well, I remember before that you got a double race win a few weeks ago. Do you want to possibly get that again and extend your gap on the drivers behind, especially your teammate and Ferrari Nut?
Yeah. As long as I keep finishing the first or second, I should be fine. Yeah, we got to keep up the constructors, goal for 1,000 points in a season, and we are well on our way, so.
I mean, just looking at right now, although it's not updated, 521 points and we're not even halfway. I mean, I feel like that is pretty achievable, but we shall see. But nonetheless, well done to you, and 31 points to your name. But your championship rival and your teammate beat you out, 34 points, and that was for Taylor Clan. He made Taylor. You may or not okay, English. Words fail me. You may or may not have gotten the win.
Words
I mean,
fail me.
oh my god, I did it again. You may have not gotten the win in Hungary in either race, but one thing's for sure, you got P2 twice, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and ideally fastest lap as well. And well, still some very good points, and ideally gaining on your championship rival. Would you say that this is a good weekend, or did you expect more?
This is a fantastic weekend. Highlight of the race is screaming bing bong in game chat. We were sitting here laughing because Ferrari and I went on the wets and we were still pulling about 3 seconds to lap on him. And then starting the last lap, we saw it said DRS disabled. So, plan was to pull a NASCAR on port and move him, but didn't get to him. So.
Can't do that shit. Can't do that.
I can do it if he doesn't report it.
Fair enough. But next week, we are going into a famous, very famous track Spa-Francorchamps.
I was just about to
Belgium.
ask. I don't even know what's next week.
Oh, well, there you go. I just provided your answer. Do you want, well, the one question I'm really going to ask, are you going to possibly take more points away from your rival and your teammate Port? Or are you just expecting damage limitation?
We're expecting to win.
Well, apart from the obvious.
Obviously, I need a perfect weekend of 48 points, and I need Port to DNF both races. So, that's ideal.
3 times in a row, buddy.
Actually, I'm only, how many points am I out?
I would tell you, but, somebody didn't update the points.
Dang, wonder
I'm
who
looking at
that
you,
was.
Port. I'm looking at you. Ishigo, do you have any questions for our drivers?
Nah, I'm good, bro.
Alright then, well, if that's the case, then that is going to be everything for Formula 2 tonight. But we still have plenty of racing throughout the week. Tomorrow, realistic tier, 8 p.m. EST, as they shall race around the same track at the Hungaroring. And then Friday, tier 3 and tier 4. Saturday, tier 1 and tier 2, so be sure to tune in for that. If you're not a fan of F1 though, well, Sundays and Mondays, we welcome the return of ACC as we start another season with 2 tiers this time, as they shall start their season around Misano. But from Ishigo and I, that is going to be everything. And well, good night or good day, depending on where you are.